Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. As you guys read by the title, we are going to be reading the Yelp reviews of every job I've ever worked. Before we get into it, I'm only going to be reading the Yelp reviews from when I was working there. So I'm not just going to be reading, just in general, but just from like my time of being there, just so if I, see something that I recognize, something happening, I can speak on that. So only gonna be reading stuff from when I was working at each of these jobs, and I have the reviews pulled up. I'm gonna have them all on the screen so you guys can read along with me. I scooted over a little bit so that I can put everything here and then nothing will be overlapping me. So my very first job that I worked was a Chick-fil-A in Georgia, but that one actually closed down. So I cannot start with that job, otherwise I would have. So I'm actually gonna be starting from my second job, which is Chipotle. So the first review is January 31st, 2019. It is a 1-star and it says, "Honestly, it was a terrible experience. Is there a way to rate this as 0 stars? I love Chipotle for their Whole30 friendly menu, but the service at this particular location was poor, as well as the food itself. 1, the worker didn't know what the Whole30 salad was, which I can understand, no harm done. 2, the fajita peppers and onions were out, along with the pork carnitas, which they pride themselves on. Then I wait patiently after my husband pays for what he was told was all of our food. The worker said, 'Do you want to pay for it all right now?' as in his burrito and the salad I was waiting on. We said yes. 4, we weren't told where to wait. Maybe they'll bring it out when it's done or let me know. Nope, I have to go back and check. 5, worker running register tells me just to cut in line and see if it's ready to be made. Thank you to the man I cut for being so understanding. 6, there was barely any lettuce or carnitas in my bowl. I had to ask for more guacamole, and they put the super spicy sauce instead of the salsa, which I held my tongue at this point because I just wanted to eat, 7, they won't give me the food because they said we didn't pay for it. Are you kidding? They finally gave me my sad little salad without extra charge after my husband had to explain to the manager the whole situation. And then she puts the photos of her food. So real quick, I just want to break down some parts of this review, and not to like be super nitpicky, but just to, so 1, she says the worker didn't know what the Whole30 salad was. I mean, yeah, that's fair. The fajita peppers and onions were out. That happens so much. I don't know why at my Chipotle, we were always out of the peppers. Like, I don't know. So that's fair. I'll give them that. 3, along with the carnitas, which they pride themselves on. I say that as like I work there still, but Chipotle didn't really pride themselves on carnitas, really just the chicken, because that's like what the most popular meat was. So I don't know where she got that from. What else? We weren't told where to wait. I mean, I feel like that's not that big of a deal. Like for me, I know if I'm waiting for food, just go off to the side, near the register. And then here's the pictures of the food, which here's my thing. If I see someone making my food wrong or the way that I didn't ask for it, I'm gonna say something, and that's just me. I get she was like, I didn't say anything. I just wanted my food. But like, no, girl, that's your literal job as the customer to make sure your food's right. Like if like you said salsa and then they put the wrong one and you just watch them, that's kind of your fault. But yeah, maybe I don't know. It just seemed like a very awkward back and forth. So I don't really know. Okay, next one is a 2-star from, I'm not gonna say this person's name, but it says, I was disappointed with this Chipotle as they had no chips, no forks, no lids for takeout bowls or burritos. However, the food tasted good as I was lucky enough to get the last fork, and the restaurant was very clean. So I remember this when I worked there. One day we had like a shortage of so much stuff. We literally had nothing. We were closing up bowls with like aluminum foil and like other lids. It was bad. I don't know why. But when we would tell people that, they would be like, okay, whatever. And then we're like, okay, like we really don't have these things. But hey, at least he said the food tasted good, and it was a 2-star. So honestly, I respect it. It is what it is. Okay, the next review is a 1 star, and it says, there's always a lackadaisical attitude with the employees and just poor professional attitude. It has been consistently slow service and no care to whatever they are doing. I love Chipotle, but the workers are the main culprits to my low review. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, sometimes the people that worked there definitely weren't the friendliest. But I don't know. My thing is, it's like, dude, it's food service. Like, stop expecting like Chick-fil-A type. I don't know. I'm sorry, but if you've worked in food service, you know it just don't be that deep to people. Like, we don't be caring enough to like go above and beyond. And that's because like we don't get paid enough. The amount of work that goes into working at Chipotle, like I promise you, customer service is low-key the last thing on our minds. Okay, next review says, it's a 1 star by the way. Employees are slow, stand around and text on their phones, and tonight even charged me $4.10 for guacamole. When I questioned the manager, Stephanie, that was one of my managers. Oh, I think I remember this day. Stephanie, why her sign reads guacamole serves 2. She tells me this doesn't mean it serves for 2 meals. I said, so what does it mean? She says it means you get 2 small containers for 1 meal, but you just got 1 large for each meal, so we had to charge you twice. Really? I just asked for guacamole on each meal. They never asked me if I wanted a small or large. They simply gave me a spoonful of each and charged me twice, ignoring the sign that reads serves 2. Terrible customer service. Okay, so I remember this manager. She wasn't the nicest, but I will say in her defense, so at Chipotle at this time in 2019, guac, a small size was $2.05 and a large size was $4.10. So this person is saying, I think they got 2 bowls, each one with guac. And if guac is $2.05 and you got 2, that just equals up to $4. So I don't know, maybe they thought there was like some type of discount or just like a 2-for-1 type thing. But I don't know. I think the wording on whatever sign this person read was very confusing. But if you get 2 servings of it, then it still costs that much. But I don't know. I don't really get it. It says, they're saying that they got 2 bowls and they got guac on each. So I think this one was a reading comprehension issue. So I'm just gonna like, I don't know. Okay, we got another 1 star. And this one says, I will never come back. Moe's is far better. The staff did not even speak or ask if we were ready to order. It was very rude and awkward. I told them it was my first time trying Chipotle, and they were not helpful at all. The restaurant was filthy. We ate outside because there wasn't a clean table in the restaurant, even though they were not busy. Tables outside weren't much better. The chips were stale, and I paid extra for them. Scoot on down the road to Moe's. The only thing I'm going to address in this one is the whole, I told them it was my first time and they weren't helpful. I don't know why, but when I worked at Chipotle, like that was one of my biggest pet peeves. For some reason, like people saying like, oh, it's my first time here, and like expecting you to like baby grown adults through a process that you can literally just watch another customer do. Like, okay, I get if you're first in line and like, you know, there's no one to watch, but like just look around, see what other people are doing, read the menu. Usually the menu will tell you exactly how it works. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not that hard to figure out. So, I mean, it's like, what do you want us to do? Be like, oh, it's your first time? Okay, well, so that, like, no, girl, we're already overworked, overtired, underpaid. No one's trying to do all that. You're grown. But yeah, it low-key was like dirty. Like sometimes if we just had a rush, like cleaning the tables and stuff like wasn't our first priority, because they would want us to like clean the back, make sure the dishes are done, you know, make sure everything's stocked, make sure prep is done. And so yeah, sometimes them tables definitely would be dirty. So I'll give her that. That's all the reviews I'm gonna do for Chipotle. So we're gonna move on to Ulta. Well, first one, we got a 1 star. And it says, went here twice and I was dissatisfied both times, unfortunately. Horrible customer service. Sales associates are just rude and not doing their job the way they should be doing it. They have the worst attitudes. In the cleaning section by the cosmetics are always filled with dirty used tissues. The tissue boxes were both empty the both times I've gone. Dirty tissues on the floor as well. No one cleans or organizes the shelves. Everything is just a huge mess at this location, and it's seriously embarrassing. They definitely need to clean the entire store up. It looks terrible. Shopping baskets are also disgusting. Hopefully they have this location on a lookout because no one is taking care of this. Everything is unsanitary and a complete trash can. Do not recommend this location. Okay. So the thing is, they are right about this. Like, this is how that Ulta was. But the thing is, so when I was working there, it was usually understaffed by like a couple people. And so there was only like 1 to 3 people on the floor, usually 1 to 2 people actually on the floor walking around that wasn't on the cash register. Someone is supposed to be replacing, you know, the tissues and stuff for like the shade matching little tables. But because we were so understaffed, it just usually didn't always happen that way. Also, other customers would be really just rude and like not care, and they would just throw trash wherever they wanted. And that was really hard to keep up with. So yeah, it was pretty dirty, but it really was because some of the customers just didn't care, and we were low-key really understaffed. So it was kind of a lot to keep up with, but yeah, they weren't wrong. I'm gonna give them that. It's very true. Okay, next review, another 1 star. It says, came here with my boyfriend to buy a wax starter kit and asked 3 employees, and they provided horrible customer service. They just said, oh, it's over there. No one walked us to the aisle to buy the kit. When we asked for the manager, she did the same thing. One employee said they were out of stock when they had several in the back and not on the selling floor. Again, horrible customer service. My only thing is, how do you know they had some in the back? Like, customers swear everything just be in the back, like it's Narnia, like it's this magical like place where we can fabricate things out of nowhere. Like, girl, how do you know it was in the back? But yeah, sometimes people didn't want to walk. It depends on who she asked though, because like if she asked someone who's like behind the register, they can't leave the register. So that's like one thing. But if there was like someone on the floor, then technically, you know, they're not doing anything. They should have walked her to it. But you know, it's like, girl, did you end up finding it or not? Like, I don't know. Okay, next we got a very long one, and this one's actually about the salon. So I'm not gonna read everything, but I am reading this to say, do not go to the Ulta salons, okay? So this one says, very bad balayage done. It was patchy, the wrong color, and no flow. It went from my brown hair straight to a yellow tone, even with the 2 sessions Rachel said it would take to get the color I wanted. And it still wouldn't change the fact that it is so choppy with color transition and bad. You could see the line where the bleach starts and stops. The other ladies working there saw the disaster and didn't want to tell Rachel she'd butchered my hair. The manager saw what I wanted and just started gaslighting me, telling me that we all see color different and to explain exactly what I wanted. I told her exactly what I wanted and described the picture as if she didn't have the picture in front of her. And this goes on for even longer, and she attaches pictures. They definitely messed her up. And this is to say, don't go to the Ulta salon. They don't know what they're doing. Just because they have a cosmetology license doesn't mean anything, okay? Anybody can get a license. That does not mean they know what they're doing. I'm just saying, because the amount of horror stories that have come out of them Ulta salons, it's just not worth it. I promise you, just don't. Okay, next review. 2 stars. It says, first observation of this place is how dirty the storefront looked. Is this really Burbank or downtown LA? Ooh. No greetings upon entry, no assistance offered, and had to seek someone for help. Cashier was nice and helpful. Disappointing. Okay, yeah, again, that store, it definitely got a little sus, a little dirty, so I'm gonna give them that. The shade though, is this really Burbank or downtown LA? That was very shady, babes. But no greeting upon entry. I mean, Ulta isn't really known for that. Like, it's definitely something that they like want us to do, but it's not like, girl, I'm sorry. Again, and this is probably because I've worked in retail and I've worked in food service, but I just hate when people expect like too much. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, if you've worked at Ulta, you know, it's just, that's the last thing on our mind, being like, oh, let me greet these customers. Girl, come in and shop, get your stuff and leave. If you have a question, you know, that's one thing. If you really did need someone for help and you had to, you know, search and search and search, that's different. But again, that's usually because the manager is understaffed for whatever reason, to save on labor, I guess. But yeah, this ain't Chick-fil-A. Well, I don't know why y'all be expecting all this above and beyond. But again, maybe that's just me having zero patience from working in the food industry and working in retail. So I don't know. Moving on, we're gonna move on to the third job, which was this rooftop bar and hotel. It was like a rooftop bar on top of a hotel. They also had a restaurant on the ground floor, but I worked at the rooftop area and I was a server assistant. So I'm gonna be reading the reviews from when I worked there. So first review is a 3-star. It reads, "Note, only the rooftop bar was open at the time I went. We were told that the main hotel and restaurant were due to open in September of 2022. Though I see reviews for the hotel rooms already. Odd. It was close to closing when a friend and I stopped in for a drink. The rooftop bar is nearly as it was under Nomad Hotel Management. Oh, by the way, this place is called Perla, but it used to be called the Nomad. So a lot of these reviews will reference the Nomad, but it's no longer called that. It says you can look at Instagram pictures to compare. They changed the chairs, I think. That's about it. I would recommend sitting on the patio. The bar space itself is pretty horrible. The ceilings are low. They still got the Nomad chandeliers that are super large and low for the space. The space itself feels like it was probably once a storage room. It's very uninviting to hang out in there. Tip for owners: knock the walls out and connect it to the outside. Get rid of the high top tables. The ceiling already seems low, and high tops just sit you that much closer. We'll go back when they open the main restaurant and hotel to check it out. Rumor has it the restaurant will be a non-fussy Italian place." Okay, so yeah, for the most part, I pretty much agree with this review, mainly because a lot of other people did say they didn't like the way it was constructed. I'll try to put pictures up of the place if I can. I don't work there anymore, so I don't care if y'all see what it looks like. But yeah, it wasn't put together the best. For a rooftop, it was very mid. I don't know why him saying a non-fussy Italian place kills me. I don't know what that means. But yeah, he was kind of right. He kind of ate them up. Next review is a 2-star, and it says, "Kind of janky, really. We knew it wouldn't be the Nomad. On our way home, we knew it wouldn't be the Nomad, our home away from home where everyone knew our names, but we wanted to see what it was like now. At first, it looked mostly the same." And then they are talking about nostalgia things, but then reality kicked in. They're clearly trying to make it more accessible, which is nice, but it was clear that Perla doesn't have it together yet. For example, and then they're going to talk about one of the dishes that we had. For example, the halloumi is set alight with rum. Nice touch, but then we're told that we can extinguish the flame early by squeezing the lemon over it, which is to say the lemon that's on the same plate and also on fire. Then there were the olives. Tasty at first, but oh my god, the citrus was so overpowering they became inedible. And then the men's room, my god. There are 2 lighting fixtures over the sink. One was working and the other one didn't have a bulb. The bulb had been pulled out from the wall at some point. Look guys, you bought a stunning property and you're already running it into the ground. Please stop. Yeah. Honestly, again, they ate that. This was one of those jobs where you could tell rich people were like, "Oh, I'm gonna become even more rich." But then they realized they didn't actually know what they were doing. And yeah, and the dish that this person was talking about being on fire, there was like a block of halloumi cheese, and then you pour rum over it, and then we would light it on fire as like a little thing, and then it'll do its thing, and then make like the cheese all melty or whatever. But yeah, there was a lemon next to it, and sometimes the lemon would also catch on fire. So it was a gimmick that they tried, you know. Okay, next we got a 3-star. And this one is, this is like the definition of a mixed review in my opinion, because they definitely had some good things to say and they definitely had some bad things to say. So I won't read all of it because it'll take forever. But this one says, so this person lives in downtown and then they heard that it's open under new management. They like the decor and so they wanted to give it a chance. Then they say, as a pescatarian, my go-to is always going to be seafood and salad. And this time I avoided the shrimp skewers for $28 because they had a rotting smell the first time I went and were cooked so hard. I wanted to feed them to the toothless sculpture that welcomes the rooftop visitors by the poolside. I did eat them because one, I washed them down with the lemon in my tequila cocktail. And two, I was hungry. So instead I thought I'd try the scallops and tuna tartare or whatever fancy name they had on the menu for it. I have to say, both dishes were pretty tasty. The tuna was tangy and blah, 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 blah. But I was suspicious of the serving size. He basically said he ate it and he felt like he didn't basically eat anything. And he paid a lot of money. So yes, a lot of people did feel like the prices were not really worth what you get because the serving sizes were so tiny. And it was pretty expensive. So every time I was working, I'd be like, I don't see how people are dropping $100 to $200 on basically nothing, but I don't really know. It's rich people gonna spend their money on whatever, I guess. And then the last review I'm gonna read from this one, it says, I'm giving this hotel 3 stars because although I did love my small but cozy room, this hotel turned out to be more pricey than I expected. We were charged for valet plus resort fee. That was an additional $100. For this price, I would rather be by the beach. Yeah, again, this place low-key was finessing people. Like, every bad review usually says something about how they thought it was overpriced for what you get. And I 100% agree. This was definitely a cash grab like place. So yeah, I feel bad for everyone who wasted their money here. Okay, next we're gonna move on to Ross. I used to work at Ross. I just never was able to make a little working at Ross video, but yes. So Ross, we're gonna read some of the reviews from when I was working there. And Ross has a pretty bad score. So most of these are gonna be pretty low. So first we're gonna start off with a 1 star. And it says, if I can, I would give them negative stars. It was a horrible experience. I went to the shop to get a refund because some item I purchased was not in the bag from the previous time I purchased. I talked to a cashier and they asked me to wait. I waited over 10 minutes, but no one helped. So I was waiting for the line for shopping, but when my turn came, they said the store is closed and asked me to come back tomorrow. I asked the manager and she gave me an attitude and said, get out to me. What kind of manager treats customers this way? I needed their help and I waited. And at the end, their excuse was we cannot access the security camera. It was an unacceptable experience at the shop. Yes, so I don't know what manager told them to get out. That's really wild. But the thing with the returns, for some reason, Ross is super super about that. They literally check the cameras to if you say you forgot an item, they check the cameras on the day you were there to make sure you actually forgot it, because they'll see in the cameras if you if the cashier forgot to put the item in or not. So I'm sure this person probably went right before closing and then they were like, we can't look at the cameras right now. I don't know why. I don't really know. I don't get how it works. But yeah, that was pretty, people at Ross, they don't care. That's another thing. And they don't really care that much about good customer service. Really only the managers do. But I guess this manager was not giving no fucks today. So Ross doesn't have that many reviews from when I worked there. So I'm gonna end this on a 5 star. And that says, it's a Ross. They sell you clothes you think is more valuable than it is. But in reality, budget and outlet clothing is made intentionally lower quality so that you can wear your favorite logo for less. Yeah, I mean, hey, they're right. It's a freaking Ross, man. Don't come in expecting all this extra stuff. Okay, moving on to my last job, which is a freaking poke place, which, if you don't know, it's like raw fish. There's not that many bad reviews here, although I had a bad experience working there, but it's not about me. So this one, it is a 1 star, so I am going to start off with that. And it says, I went for the first time with my friend who was raving about this place. She goes once a week and won't go anywhere else. We had just driven past and called to make sure we could still order as long as we got there before 9 p.m. when they close. They said they close in a few minutes and they were already getting ready to put food away. My friend asked if we could place the order over the phone as we would be there in just a minute. They said they weren't able to do over the phone orders. My friend asked one more time and the girl paused and said as long as we make it before 9, we could order in person. they would wait to put the food away. We rushed and made it at 8:55. My friend thanked them so much for waiting, and the 3 girls behind the counter didn't respond at all, just looked at each other with dirty looks silently. We walked up to the counter, and the 3 employees just kept staring at each other with dirty looks and didn't say anything, such as, "What's your order? How can we help?" Pure silence. My friend asked a question about sauce. They didn't even respond or acknowledge. Then she got onion, and I wanted some, but they threw them away in the trash immediately after they put it on hers. But instead of telling me, "Oh, sorry, we threw it away," the 3 of them whispered about it before telling us what happened, which made it even weirder. It was the most uncomfortable experience ever. Weird vibes, uncomfortable, bad customer service. Yeah, I will say food service people get pretty mad when you come in right before they close. So, like, there's that. But yeah, them just staring at you is kind of wild. But hey, some people, at least they called, I guess, before they came. Some people just come at 8:59 and be like, "Why are you looking at me like that?" So yeah, that sucks. That's fair, girl. Like, I would give it a 1 star too. Okay, this one's a 4 star, and this is actually where I'm gonna end this, but it says, "This place has been my go-to for years. I've noticed the cost of their bowls have been steadily increasing. It's becoming a bit more expensive than I like, which is a concern. I hope they can find a way to balance quality and affordability for their loyal customers." Yeah, definitely this is one of the more expensive places, which, yeah, when I would be ringing people up, oh my God, their bowls would be coming out to $25. Like, whoa, my God. But yeah, I hated working at this place. It was really bad, and I got fired from there. So let me know if y'all want me to make a video about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all that, and have a great day. Bye.